killed at the end of the first one. Seemed like Tom Savini believed that Jason was dead, there was no coming back, and then the decision was made to make Jason the killer. How did each of you get involved with the film? Like, who reached out to you first?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Yeah, sure.
For me, it was just sort of dumb luck. I was just in New York on vacation, and my agent from Los Angeles said, do you want to read for this movie? And I had no idea what it was, and so I went and I read, and Steve was there, and he liked me, and I got the part. But had I not been in New York on vacation, I would not be here now. I would never have met you people. I never would have met Amy. So it's kind of a fluke for me. That's how I got it. And I'd never seen a horror movie. So when Amy's probably heard this, when I got back to LA, Steve asked me if I'd ever seen, Steve Miner, the director, if I'd ever seen a horror movie. And I said, no, I never have. And he said, he took me to see Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And that was the first horror movie I'd never seen Friday the 13th, part 1. So anyway, there you go.
Well, I auditioned, it came up as an audition, in New York, and I thought, well, I don't really want to do the horror films. I want to do some more serious films, but I just went and I got the role, and I'm so grateful, because if I didn't get that, I would not be here today. And I would not have met all you people here today, or that seagull. Yeah, so it was kind of, not really just sort of a normal happening in New York audition for me.
Did you go more than once, Amy, to read, or just one time?
Probably 1.5 times.
Yeah. Well, what'd you do in the halftime?
I knew he'd ask that question.
I sort of walked in the door, but I just...
Yeah, I can't tell you the truth of what happened.
Okay, good evening. Thank you all for coming. It's been an incredible day. We've literally been talking nonstop since 10 o'clock this morning. You all are fantastic. I'm grateful. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being so supportive. To answer your question, life is a blur. Life is a collection of all these crazy chapters that we're all racing through. I was in New York, and I got out of Lee Strasberg, and I was really young, didn't quite know what to do with myself or whatever. You're beating feet around the city. You get an agent. The agent then starts submitting you for things. I had an agent, Michael Thomas, a nice lady, Roseanne, I forgot her last name, Gates, whatever. They called me, and the crazy part of the whole story, the chapter we're telling, is that I got submitted for his part. So... whatever. I went in and I read, and they said, no, we're not going with you. That's fine. You're going with John Fury. Okay, that's fine too. And then next thing you know, then they had said, well, we'd like you to be, one of our Jason. So I said, would you like to do that? Oh yeah, that would be fantastic. Well, what does he have to do? Well, I didn't really know. And you're reading through the script, and well, what the hell is he doing? Anyway, so.
What does he say?
What does he say? You think you've got this great monumental, oh yeah, I got a part, it's a Paramount movie, and it's going to look great. And then I just don't know, it's all a blur. It's then, you end up here in Connecticut, Kent, Connecticut. It's an incredible circle journey of life. And you went to the school there as a younger girl, and then you end up in this monumental brand and legacy. At Kent School, then you end up at a story that's filmed at a summer camp in Kent. Anyway, it's quite a journey, and so, I had no idea what was coming, and I thought I had his part. So
Steve Dash, the other guy who played Jason, was funny because he talked about when he was going to do it, and he said, well, let me look at the script, and they go, well, you don't need to look at the script. They go, well, let me see my scenes, and they said, well, you don't have any lines.
I was in LA, and I did go to Hollywood Stuntman school, and you joined the Hollywood Stuntman Association, but when you're really young, no, you're not viewing yourself as some battle axe stuntman guy. No, I hadn't been done fireworks, high falls and crashing cars. No, I was young. I was going, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, so you just paint the picture, no problem, we'll get this done. And you're just very excited and happy you're part of something, particularly when you're like, I don't know, 20 years old. I just don't know. I can't believe the brand celebrated its 44th birthday.
Who did?
The brand of Friday 13th, 44th. I don't know how that happened, but anyway.
I know.
We're all very grateful to be part of the brand. It's shocking.
And I speak for all of us that
Yeah.
never in a million years would have thought that this would endure for all this time. And we all did this and we thought, that was a good job, that was fun. She and I were the leads in the movie, that was exciting. But 44 years later, it's just unfathomable. And you people are just really incredible. It's amazing.
I don't know. I'm 45, so I don't know how that how's the film 44 years old?
I was 12 when we shot it. So.
Yeah. It dates you. God damn, it dates you. And
It does.
you can't lie. Well, how old were you when you did that film? I just don't know. I was young.
So, it's interesting too, the collection of people that worked together on certain films, because you had a little film called Last House on the Left, filmed in 1971, released in 1972, directed by Wes Craven, produced by Sean Cunningham, and Steve Miner also worked on that film.
He did? He worked on Last
He
House on
did,
the Left.
yep. And it was how this little film that was released to such controversy and censorship, years later, brings out Jason and Freddy from Sean Cunningham and Wes Craven.
Oh.
And it's this little film that started in 1972.
Why was there so much controversy about Last House on the Left?
That's
Oh, you guys know why?
it's
You know why?
it's a bit of an intense film. It's
Why? What happened?
If you feel comfortable
You
answering.
can answer that. Go ahead, sir. Speak up.
It's a little rapey.
A little.
Oh, rapey? Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
What's a little rapey?
That means they're rape victims in the story.
Oh, no, I thought he said
Very disturbing film.
Okay.
There was nothing like that show.
No. It was that when Wes Craven, their names became well known from that movie, not for the best reason, but then they both went on to direct films, and that was where Sean Cunningham did Friday the 13th, and Wes Craven eventually did Nightmare on Elm Street. And I just thought it was an interesting connection that Friday Part 2
Yeah.
was
Yeah, I never knew that. I never
directed
knew
by
that.
Steve Miner, who also worked on that film. The Jason connection in Connecticut, and then how Wes Craven went on to create Freddy Krueger. And then eventually we had Freddy versus Jason. So it's kind of where these intersections are.
It's a small family, it's all interrelated.
Exactly. the
I'd like some more questions directed directly to me.
exactly. So John,
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
had you ever told stories around, with people around a campfire before the Friday Part 2?
What do you think? What do you think? No.
Oh my God. Ask if he's ever slept outside before.
Had you ever slept outside before the movie?
No. Oh, well, I think I went
Since?
camping once. I
And
think
since?
No.
That's such a good
what did
question.
Woody Allen used to say? Woody Allen goes, I'm at two with nature.
What are each of your favorite memories of Connecticut when you were working on the movie?
Well, I thought the town was a really cute town, and we stayed in it was a campgrounds. We had little houses and stuff.
So they're called
Cabins.
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 I'm serious.
Jeez.
Did those? I don't even know if they all had individual bathrooms. Did they? Did you have
No.
individual bathrooms? I don't even remember. I think they
Those
might
are
have.
called latrines.
I like the lake. We had a
I
great
learned so
lake
much from
there.
Amy.
Yeah.
And there's boats going around, and I thought, my God, you're young and you're in a bunch of cabins with a lot of young other kids. It was like camp.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah.
Yep, North Spectacle Pond up in Kent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful area. Yep. In the last couple of years, because the lawsuit pretty much has been resolved. But it was nice to see that when they could make Friday the 13th the game, that they tried to include as many of the Jasons as they could. Did you end up getting any of the Blu-rays or ever play the games or anything?
No, but boy, was that popular. And I met the guys in Louisville, I guess, who wrote the game or produced it. And they said it was one of their most successful games. And they also did the Texas Chainsaw
Right, the
game.
official Texas Chainsaw game.
Yeah, and that was big too. But I know Friday the 13th was so great, but they had to just stop.
How long ago did they do this? Did they make this game? The last 5 years
2017.
or
Yeah,
so?
like, yeah, like,
2017.
yeah.
The game's on hold right now, no?
Yeah, because they
Yeah.
shut the server down until they can make some kind of deal.
Well, there are issues now with it. So I believe Sean Cunningham has gotten involved and said, no more game for now.
I missed that
Right.
chapter.
Because I believe that the Crystal Lake series on Peacock is the next project that's in production now. I think they finally got the ball rolling, but then hopefully there'll be a
But they
new film.
can't have Jason involved in it.
Right, yeah, it's supposed to be
No.
like a prequel with
So
young.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
And the grand thinking, how do you put a brand on hold for more than 10 years? And look at all of you, the fans are keeping this alive. You're keeping it alive, you're supporting it, you're buying the memorabilia, the toys keep coming, the books keep getting sold. I don't know how many versions of Peter Brocky's book have been sold. I know I keep seeing them all the time. So the brand is lucky that there's so much support. I don't know anybody in the industry could put their brand on hold for more than 10 years.
That's
Exactly.
true. That's a good point, really.
I mean,
because like you said, the fans aren't sick of it. You know, so
I mean,
who's sick of it?
James Bond can't do that. He can't take a break and come back, right?
Exactly.
Come on, I mean,
So, Amy, the scenes where you were attacking Jason by far were my absolute favorite for any of the final girls in any slasher film. Did you do any like sports or anything like in high school, like to that maybe like?
Well,
Yeah.
I grew up with 3 brothers.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So that, so I was trained at a very young age to defend myself. I played lacrosse and hockey. I was kind of, more of an outdoors person than John was. And
That's not saying a lot.
that's I'm more a physical, active kind of person. And then, there's a lot of time, poor Steve Dash, God, R.I.P. I mean, he really, I was not very good with him because, as a stunt person, you move on certain counts. Like, you wait to 3 before you do the action. But when you're an actress like me, a young actress with a bunch of adrenaline in me, I'm like, 2. And so I cut his finger, I kicked him in the nuts, I put the machete through his finger, I kicked him in the ribs. Poor guy. But you know what? He loved it. And I remember Steve Miner at that one time where I put the machete through his finger. I felt so bad because it wasn't a prop machete during that one scene with the sweater. And I lifted up and came down. I felt so bad. And Steve went, don't worry about it. Steve Miner said, don't worry about it. They love it. Stunt people love that. And,
They love going to the hospital.
and he went to the hospital with the prosthetic through the machete through his shoulder, and he just walked in going, "Hey," to the nurses, and so he loved it. But it was kind of scary.
So, Warrington, the window scene. How many takes did that take to?
well,
get?
I mean, as I recall, it was a minimum of 10 because in that time frame, you didn't have a digital monitor to look at what you just did. You might have had a Polaroid camera running around, but
We did it
wasn't-
3 different times.
Right, well, my memory is I did it about 10 times, kept coming and coming. The first time I tried, I didn't get through the window because they had scored the boards a certain amount. Anyhow, so then that had to get reset. And then, they went on until they got the shot they wanted.
Have you had a chance to read or watch the collected documentary and book Crystal Lake Memories?
The Peter Brackett
Yeah,
book?
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
I've looked at it, yeah.
Yeah. That was nice to see too, because
I
it was.
looked at it once when I was out camping. I looked at that. Yeah. It's a long weekend out in the woods.
It's all dog-eared. He's got bookmarks and it's got dirt
Yeah.
all in it from the frogs and the campfire.
You know,
Marshmallow.
if I honestly, if I knew the final girl thing like 40 years ago is going to be such a big deal, I think I would have read for Amy's part.
If I knew the monsters were going to be so big, I would have read for Jason.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. It's true.
Man.
Even better.
So, John, what do you think happens to Paul after the movie?
Oh, well, what do I think? I think he lives, but that's just my opinion, you know. There's no proof to the contrary. But it's supposed to be an ambiguous ending. I get asked that all the time, and what you see on the screen is exactly what was in the script. So, you know, there was talk about Amy doing another one, and then Steve said they would talk about it, maybe both of us doing another one, and then, you know, I think at some point Amy didn't do it for whatever reason, and then they just decided they wanted to have new people all the time. But it was left. It's up to you. I mean, what happened, you know? So that's what I say. I'm sticking to it.
Okay. We can open it up for a couple questions from the audience. Neil.
I don't really. Well, first of all, I want to say part 2 is the best of the franchise, hands down. As far as slasher is pure film, absolutely.
You thought part 2 was the best, you said?
Part 2 is the best.
I'd like all them to hear it too.
No, they all know.
Yeah, they all know. They all know.
Technical, absolutely. You know, I'm just saying that because you guys are here, defending part 2, have several debates on that. But I would have loved to have seen even Jimmy and Ted, because we know Ted was at the bar and he comes back and sees all his friends. You know, they don't know what happened. Ted was at the bar trying to get lucky with the bartender, the waitress. I would love to have seen him and Jimmy go have a spin-off going after Jason.
Well, do you know that was in part 3? In the script that they gave me, 50 pages. Ted, I'm at college, and I lend my roommate my red Volkswagen. The police come back a couple hours later going, "Oh my God, what are you doing alive? The girl in your car was just killed." Then I try to call Ted, and Ted and I start trying, and I say he's back, but everyone thinks like I'm a psycho and it never happened. And so Ted and I start tracking down Jason. So you look
Oh,
at
that's not a bad
brilliant
idea.
mind.
That's kind of a good idea.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they could have made a whole movie of that without really many new characters at all, I
Yeah.
suppose. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Little continuity.
It's kind of interesting too, because people would think maybe she's nutty because she just wants to get Jason
Yeah.
and all that stuff. That would be kind of cool. Oh well.
Oh, well. They'll reinvent the brand sooner or later. And they need to make it more real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
More real. No one wants to see Jason go
And
to
that-
outer space. Was he going to outer space to go to the space station?
Yeah, Jason X.
And then what? Elon Musk will pick him up at the space station and bring him home? I mean, come on. It's got to be within the bubble of reality.
When Jason was human.
Yes. Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
makes it believable to a viewer. You know?
I'm sad that it's Jason.
Yeah. Well, they did get some inspiration from the serial killer in Texas
Yeah.
who was running around with a potato sack on his head.
Town the dreaded sundown.
Correct. So I think that was the inspiration of for Victor Miller or whomever.
Oh, it's raining.
Yeah. Oh, it just started raining. Fitting. I think it's on this side. Yep. You, sir. Yep.
What was your favorite kill?
Favorite kill? Kill?
Yeah, favorite.
Oh. Are you asking all of us or?
Yeah.
Oh. I actually think that whatchamacallit going down the stairs backwards, Tom McBride was pretty
Oh, yeah, that was
impressive.
good.
That was pretty
That was a good
impressive.
Yeah.
And then the, the 2-for-1.
2-for-1.
For one sale. Lord. Yeah, I agree with that. Wow.
Yeah. No, Steve told me that he worked on that a long time, and he was very, very proud of it. That wheelchair thing going down the stairs backwards, and he thought it looked really good, and I agreed, and yeah. He told me he was, not everything he shot, not just in that movie, but other stuff he did, was he thrilled with, but he really loved how that kill looked.
That was how well Carl Fullerton did the makeup and everything. Because Warrington, how many hours in the makeup chair was it?
Well, it took the entire day. So they started filming when it got dark. So we're having at it. I would say at noon. He's putting the pieces together, and the eye and the teeth, and he made a huge effort on that.
Yep. Exactly.
And he had known his craft pretty well, and he was even very young at that time. No.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now,
Exactly.
me, on the other hand, just took 3 or 4 hours.
And that was another thing too, especially because it was only I say recently, but 5 years ago when they finally released the gore footage from Part 2 on the Blu-ray set, because it taken so many years. Because I believe it was on a work print copy that they had the footage on, but it wasn't transferable, so they had to. As far as I know, they had to do a special process for the VHS tape, and then they were finally able to transfer it onto the Blu-ray. And that was pretty cool to see, because you saw the actual ice pick scene with Alice in the beginning. You saw the hanging up, Russell Todd's character hanging upside down, getting his throat cut. It was much more bloody.
Right.
I say that with excitement, I'm sorry. It was nice to see too, because he's, his artwork was able to finally get the recognition that it deserved, and the MPAA, everything they like to cut out of movies that we love. It was nice to finally get that, so everybody could see it and everything.
I've never seen him again since we left the set.
I don't think
I think the cons ought to try to get him to come to one.
That would be
What was
cool.
your favorite kill?
Maybe, we'll see what happens.
What was your favorite kill?
My favorite kill was the one where they left that guy hanging upside down.
Yeah.
Oh, Russell Todd.
Yep.
Russell
Yeah.
Todd.
I see Russell Todd a lot. He lives right near me. He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's interesting too, because there's
He's still alive.
Oh yeah. There's a new graphic novel coming out they're using the likenesses of Russell and Lauren Marie Taylor. It's called Ripped to Shreds, and it was a script that was not. It was meant to be produced in the early '80s. It never got funding, if my understanding is correct, and the screenplay was acquired a few years ago, and now they're making it to a graphic novel, and it's going to be released. So they, for the comic book part of it, they used the likeness of Russell and Lauren Marie from just how they looked in Friday Part 2. So that'll be something interesting to check out. It's supposed to be released in June. It was on Kickstarter. I'm not sure how wide the release is going to be, but it's called Ripped to Shreds. So everyone gets a chance to look into it. You, sir. Yep.
Yes. Did Steve Miner ever indicate that the 2-for-1 scene he got from Bay of Blood by Margot Baba?
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know.
It's been suggested that that's what inspired it, but they say that he didn't actually watch the movie. It's just he looks at it as a coincidence, but chances are it's probably inspired by it.
Inspired.
Yeah. Anyone on this side? You, sir.
Did any of you attend the premiere opening of the movie? And if you did, what was your reaction? Were you surprised how big of a movie it was? Or
You know what? They don't have premieres back then. It was like, oh, we're going to screen the movie, on Beverly Boulevard at 5 o'clock on a Tuesday. Do you want to come? But so I know I was in New York when I first saw
I think
it.
I went
don't
to that
remember.
movie with you on 86th
Yeah, in
Street.
86. Did we
Yeah.
go together?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went.
And we had
Yeah.
a
And-
big reaction. from
But
the
I don't
crowd.
remember a Nights, Lights, I don't think they did that.
No,
Did
there
they?
was no like premiere thing or
No.
anything. No, but we saw. I went to the opening day, and yeah, it was pretty interesting because the people would. I remember there was a guy behind me at one point, and he goes, and his girlfriend is getting nervous. Oh no, his girlfriend says to him, "Jason's gonna kill her." And it was so funny. They were sort of predicting the kills, like early on.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, I'm hearing her say, "Don't go in there. How come she's so stupid? Go in there."
That's right.
What a dumb bitch. Ah.
Jason's gonna kill her.
I saw it was on 86th Street at Lowe's.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I had a party afterwards.
Oh,
What happened?
we were probably all there.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. But
Well, I'll
people-
tell you one interesting thing with the premiere that night. One of my friends, you would probably know the guy. He was big buddies with Andy Warhol at the time, so he brings him in. And this was the beginning of the days of Andy Warhol. You look at a Campbell soup can on the wall, and okay, Warhol did it. You're like, oh, so what? You don't have the white hair going like that. He comes to the party afterwards. Fred Hughes. Anyway, Corey Hay also. These are all PR people in New York. So they brought him, and this was way before he become a household name. And at the time, he's asking, oh, can we do an acrylic on canvas of the Jason face? Could you imagine?
You said, no, I'm
Can you imagine if I had the sense to say, yes, that's a brilliant idea? Oh my God. Yeah. But they're great stories like that. And of course, obviously today, history, we're talking a space of times gone by, and it's beyond comprehension what that would be worth had he done a Jason acrylic.
Absolutely.
Oh, dude.
Definitely.
Go
I'd
ahead.
have flogged it off years ago.
Yeah, you're
Do you do anything special when there's a Friday the 13th? I just is kind of tell you.
I was
Yeah,
born on
I was
Friday
gonna
the
say, yeah.
13th.
His birthday.
I was born on Friday the
Daughters who were
13th.
born on Friday the 13th. So it's like a holiday in our house, not just because of you guys and your movie, but for them. So it's like it's a fun day. There's only like one coming up, like in I think it's June or something.
Yeah.
So-
Next month, yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's
yes.
only like once this year.
Yes.
But do you have any like when it comes around?
I always feel lucky.
Yeah.
I do. I feel lucky.
Yeah.
I've always thought 13 was lucky for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to create an event and do something fun. A movie theater in Fort Lauderdale called me. They said, oh, they want to play the movie on Friday 13th. And I said, well, fine, you play the movie and then I'll have a huge party afterwards. I'll do the catering and the alcohol, everything, and blah, blah, blah. So this was the oldest theater in Florida, so we made a party about it.
Awesome.
I've gone to like a parent teacher conference with the math and everything. Random, like a September day, yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I mean,
Roll up
it's-
to the
That's
Carnival
great.
soccer practice any time of year.
That
It's
is
even
so
better if
great.
it's not in October.
That's great.
It's a big fan.
I wanted
Well,
to make
it's been a lucky number and brand for all of us.
Yeah, you can say that again. Boy.
Speaking of special days, it is actually Amy's birthday today.
That's
Would
right.
everyone like to say happy birthday, Amy? Happy birthday, Amy! Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amy. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you so much. Great way to celebrate a birthday. Seriously. Thank you.
Yeah.
We have time for a couple more questions. You, sir, in the back.
I think I'm great. So great.
What's it like watching each other and like obviously the where you're seeing each other getting killed off, or when you see yourself as Jason, like, oh, I really got that son of a bitch good. What's the reaction when you see those scenes?
Amy.
Well, I mean, I kind of judge myself and think, oh, God, poor Steve Dash. I shouldn't, if I'd counted better, I didn't have to hurt him, or, it doesn't really, because I know that people aren't like dead. I just know what happened to me in those scenes, and maybe I wish I had played it a little bit different, or I remember when I first saw the film, I thought, God, I don't even look that scared or that, and it felt inside like I was just bursting with adrenaline and fear, just trying to.
You don't think you look scared? I thought you gave great
I
terror.
thought
you were great.
I mean, I just thought it was I was so much more over the top than when I saw it.
No.
Yeah, I know. I
think you were just the right amount over the top.
Thank you, John.
Well, that's
I didn't see a lot of the kills until the movie came out. I didn't see the two having sex or Russell, all that stuff. I didn't see it till the movie came out because I wasn't there. I didn't go. When you're shooting something, if you're not in it, you're there all the time for 7 weeks. You don't go if you're not in it.
John only read his lines in it.
What?
You only read your lines in the script too.
That's right. That's right. That's right. I didn't even know about the kills because I didn't see my name. I didn't see Paul's name, so I didn't.
That's something too with Ginny, because it seemed like of all the final girls that are out there, she seemed like she reacted so like bravely to the situation, confronted Jason, whereas pretty much until the end, all the way until the end, everyone's running from them. But she, thought about, what's Jason's issue? Like, what would he respond with? And then she reenacted Pamela. So I always thought that was really cool.
It's that child psychology coming into
Yeah,
play.
that's right.
That's right.
Anybody else on this side? You sir?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, how would you react if you were faced with the hellacious alliance of Jason, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Ghostface, and Michael Myers all trying to kill you?
I would let Amy take care of it.
Yes.
And I would.
Ginny would. Ginny.
I'd have a group therapy thing. We'd all sit down.
How about for you, Warrington? How would you respond to that?
I don't know. That's just a crazy hypothetical situation with all this decades of killers all attacking you. That's I guess you better run or confront it head on.
Absolutely. Any other
Yeah, what
questions?
about you? You were, yeah.
I just want to say something about Paul's character.
Sure.
Oh,
yeah.
no, forget about anybody else.
You're my favorite final girl in the series. You're my favorite Jason in the series.
Oh.
You're my favorite, I don't know, almost final guy. I don't know if there's like a name for
He
that
is a final guy.
Final-
He
oh,
is,
yeah,
yeah, because he.
final guy.
Yeah, we see him through the final scene, so he
thank
didn't
you,
get
that's
killed
nice.
on screen. That's the whole point. Yeah, you got
I really appreciate how positive your character was. These movies, this whole subgenre of films really, like, there's so many sleazeball characters in these kinds of movies.
Right.
In the first movie, the guy that ran the camp was mostly a nice guy, but he's hitting on his female employee a lot. And in the third film, we got Chrissy and the final guy, Rick, and Rick was a total sleazebag. He's a complete asshole to her. And I really liked how Paul was looking after the kids in his camp, looking after Ginny, looking after, like, wasn't taking any shit from the cops, and just a really positive character.
Oh, thank you.
That's good.
That
That's
wasn't a
true.
question, I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
That's a good point. Okay, I like you again.
Yep.
Amy, did you get the fantastic role of Kid April Fool's Day because of Friday the 13th?
I think so, because it was Frank Mancuso, and I didn't have to read for it, and they kept kind of asking me to do it, and I was like, and then they sort of offered it to me, so I think so. Yeah.
I have time for one more question. Anyone?
Do you still have the sweater that you took from Mrs. Voorhees?
Almost.
All right.
I think it's.
We use it in the photo ops.
Okay.
You want to hear a funny story? Quick, but I had that baseball Yankee hat I wear when the cop is there. I thought I had that for years and years in my garage, and a guy wrote to me and said, "Do you have this hat?" And he wanted to give me like $200 for it, and I said, "Oh, I think I do." And I sent him the hat. And I only charged him like $100 or whatever. And he sends it back to me and he goes, I checked them out. He goes, look at the pictures.
It's
They're
not
not,
the
it's
hat."
not the same hat. I had to I refunded his money, but I really thought it was the same hat.
I think it's safe to say that, on behalf of everyone in this room, I hope, Friday the 13th Part 2 is our favorite of the series.
Thank you. Thank you all. You guys were great. You were great.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you so much all for coming out. Again, the cast of Friday the 13th Part 2. First ever official reunion in Connecticut where the movie was filmed.
Thank you all.
Thank you, everybody.